Devlins Reach cut its way through the lower portion of coastal ranges, its ridged fingers spreading through acres of plantation forests, filling the air with a perfume of pine, eucalyptus, and brackish water. The sound of the ferry claimed his attention once more. It ground to a halt directly across from the service station, bow ramp milling against the road's concrete incline with a squeal. Hutch wiped his lips with his jacket sleeve as the Kenny growled to life again with twin plumes of blue-grey poison coming from its exhaust stacks. Two boys wheeled their bicycles around the closed gates and off the bow of the ferry. Hutch guessed they were around 12 or 13. The one in a grey hoodie stopped to tie the vessel to the roadside bollard, then caught up with his fair-haired companion, who wore a sagging wind cheater, a faded red against the diamond glimmers of the morning sun off the river. The Ford utility, doors and mudguards speckled with rust, eased off the deck behind the boys when the gates opened. The driver was an older woman with silvery hair tied up in a stringy bun. She stared at Hutch through cloud-grey eyes as she passed him. Hutch nodded, but received nothing in return. So turned his attention to the ferry as its waterline dipped deep into the river under the weight of the Kenworth's logs. The two boys were climbing the rise towards the marina. Hutch sat upright on the bench. The boys leaned their bikes against two veranda posts, then stood in front of the Coke machine beside Hutch. He watched as the kid in the grey hoodie pulled a fistful of coins from his jeans pockets and flicked back his hood. He had the same fair hair, full cheeks, and line of faded freckles across the bridge of his nose as the other boy. Hutch guessed they were brothers, with Grey Hoodie the eldest. The Coke machine delivered its bounty with a clatter of small change. Grey Hoodie cracked open the bottle and drank first, then passed it to his brother, who wiped the rim with the hem of his wind cheater and drank deeply. These boys were used to sharing. Grey Hoodie caught Hutch's eye and frowned with a "what are you looking at" glare. Hutch grinned as the small-town cliché played out before him. Welcome to Devlins Reach, he thought. Then his phone rang. Hutch plucked it out of his pocket, hoping it was his parks and wildlife contact with good news. He pursed his lips, disappointed at seeing his editor's name on the screen. "Hey, Brent." "Brewer, I'm looking around the office and don't see you anywhere. I'm also looking in the submissions file and don't see the pictures for the Sunday feature. Should I be worried?" "There was a delay yesterday," Hutch explained, "so I stayed the night. Parks can't get me access to the excavation site without approval from the university. It's the university's dig, and they're in no hurry to get back to me. I thought that was pre-arranged." "So did I. Parks said the university would give them the okay before I arrived, but apparently it has to go before some board first. They can't guarantee that'll happen before the weekend." Hutch braced himself for the response. "Shit, Brewer. We're already advertising the fucking feature for this Sunday. Do you have anything I can use?" Hutch glanced down at his camera bag, noticing the two boys were watching him. He turned his back on them. "I've got a ton of pictures of the surface mounds and entry hatches, but that's it. Jesus Christ. You do know what a photo feature means, don't you?" Hutch knew the sarcasm didn't require an answer. Brendan continued. "Emma Hatfield has written a great piece on these buried riverboats, ghost ships of the Hawkesbury, but it needs your fucking pictures, man." "I'll get them," Hutch said. "Trust me." There was a moment of silence, and Hutch turned around and looked at the kids. The older boy was now sitting on the end of the bench, the other's eyes, strangely, focused on Hutch's lips. "You know, sometimes it's best to ask for forgiveness after the fact, rather than for permission before." Hutch sighed. "I understand, Bren. Don't worry, you'll get your pictures." He ended the call. The younger kid patted his chest to get his brother's attention, then fervently signed something with his hands. The kid was deaf. No, hearing impaired. Hutch corrected himself. The older boy agreed with a curt nod to whatever his brother was saying.